Time with Philip J. Reed from Battlegrip.com and TransformingCollections.com.
Look at these clowns, hand-picked monkeys.
It's all fun and games till someone loses an eye.
Hi listeners and viewers, this is Chris from Kal-El Reviews and Shooting the Shit the podcast. Now, we've got with me a very cool dude, Phil Reed. He is embarking on a project which is a very exciting thing for Transformers collectors and collectors of transforming robots. And it's called Transforming Collections, which is a third-party transforming robot reference book. Now I'm going to throw over to Phil now, and he's going to just introduce himself. If you haven't heard about him before, here you go.
Hi, I'm Phil Reed. I run a website called Battlegrip.com. That's my hobby. During the day, I work as Chief Operating Officer at Steve Jackson Games. And pretty much, I just waste my time entertaining people as much as I can.
I wouldn't call it a waste of time, but that's all right. It's all fun and games. Now, as you said there, you work for Steve Jackson Games as the COO. Just tell us a little bit about your background with Steve Jackson Games and Transformers in general.
If we want to go chronological order, we've got to go back to 1984 for my background with Transformers.
That's fine.
Yeah. First one I got was Wind Charger, and it went downhill from there, but the first ones I got to play with were, I think it was Starscream. It was one of the Jets and Optimus Prime. Because I got home from a vacation, went over to a friend's house, and he had these really cool transforming robots, and we played with those for a while. I vaguely remember in '83 seeing a black Ironhide. I remember it was in like a Sears catalog or something, and then somebody I knew got it for Christmas and brought it to school, but I never really got a close look at that.
Was it a Diaclone, or was it actually in the Transformers line?
I'm pretty sure it was a Diaclone.
Yeah.
I should probably dig out the catalog page. I'm sure it's online somewhere. It was either Sears or Montgomery Ward Christmas catalog, and then right after Christmas he brought it in. It was kind of neat, but I never got a close look at it.
That's pretty cool.
And
yeah, I think just thinking about early Transformers, I think Springer and maybe Optimus Prime were the early ones for me.
Okay, so still pretty early.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember seeing some GoBots, too, before I saw Optimus Prime, but
yeah.
I was young. It's hard to remember exactly what the order was.
I don't remember what I had for dinner last night, so I can't imagine remembering what toys I got then.
And then at Steve Jackson Games, I started there in '99, mostly doing book design, layout, covers, illustrations, things like that, and then moved on to art director and creative director. And these days, I'm in charge of the day-to-day operations of the company.
So you've really worked your way right through from Woe to Go.
Yeah, I started as a production artist for them and just kept working at stuff and worked my way up.
It's been a great place to work?
Yeah, it's been fun. I've gotten a lot of travel. I've gotten to meet a lot of people. I get into places like New York Toy Fair, and on Monday I go to the Dallas Fall Toy Preview, which is a closed preview. Basically, the New York Toy Fair is where you go to see what's going to come out for Christmas that year. The Dallas Fall Toy Preview is where you see for what's coming out a year from now.
Okay.
And it's all closed private rooms, so you have to know somebody or have an appointment to get into the different rooms.
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah, it's fun.
It's a good, I suppose, in the industry you're in, you get those opportunities, and being a collector yourself, it really helps open your eyes on what's happening.
Yeah, I went to the Hong Kong Toy Fair a couple of years ago, and that was... I picked up a lot of very cool catalogs for some weird things that I've never seen again.
So with your Transformers collecting, when did you really explode into the collecting side of things? You hear a lot of collectors and their stories of, oh yeah, I had a few toys when I was younger, but so-and-so year I all of a sudden started buying heaps.
Yeah, it goes in waves. I mean, I had a bunch of stuff when I was younger, and then mid-20s got a bunch of stuff, and then about almost 5 years ago started collecting again, and ran into the G.I. Joe Matt Tracker action figure over the Black Friday, Thanksgiving weekend here in the U.S., and that kind of triggered me doing a little more digging. I was searching for some things. Like there were transforming robots I had when I was a kid that I'd never been able to find since. They were dump truck, cement mixer, and a crane, but you didn't transform them so much as took them apart and reassembled them into a robot.
Okay.
So I went searching and finally found out those were Marcon Robots, and I've managed to pick those up again, and launched BattleGrip.com in late 2008. And
cool, and that's a good segue there. Your website, which is www.battlegrip.com, it's pretty cool. But so you've been running it for how many years now?
Almost 4 years straight. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and you do all sorts of blogs and reviews on there yourself, or do you have contributors?
Every now and then somebody will contribute, but out of the 6,000 or so posts, there's probably 5 to 6 that were contributed by other people.
Okay.
So,
your journey with the book started, I believe, when friends of yours were asking about third-party toys as they didn't recognise them. Tell us sort of in more detail how this all got started.
This would have been last fall. It was around Thanksgiving, something like that, and they were looking at the toys. Like I said, they were confused. They didn't know what they were. I tried to explain it. And as the weeks went on and I started talking to other people, I started to get the idea to create a book. And even about that time, early December of last year, I even set up a new tag on Battle Grip to track the third-party items. Started picking up a few more and reviewing a few more. And generally was trying to collect as much information together as I could. And then as the spring and summer went on, I started to realize that maybe there wasn't the demand for the book that I thought there was. So
you found that wrong now.
Yeah. So I ran the numbers and figured out, okay, I'll set up a Kickstarter project and just see if there's enough interest for the book. And fortunately, I met the original funding goal in about 3 or 4 days, and since then everybody's been great at helping to support it, and we keep getting new people. So the demand was there. I'm glad that the work I had done up to that point wasn't a waste, and I'm kind of excited to see just how much other people have started contributing and trying to give me ideas and just improve the book by backing it.
Oh, definitely. And it's really exploded. Currently, as we record this now, you've got 232 backers.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
You've had $5,488 pledged of a $999 goal. So, you're over 500% or something like that. And there's 20 hours to go, and hopefully this is up before it's finished, but either way it will give listeners and people who are really interested in this book a good opportunity to learn a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, and even after the project ends, there's a couple sites that have backed the project at a retailer level in order to have copies to sell, so there will be some physical books for sale later, and I'll be posting the entire book as a PDF for sale.
Oh, beautiful. So anyone will be able to buy it as a digital copy. Yeah. And like myself, I ordered a few extra books for giveaways and things like that. So it's definitely going to reach a few more people that may not have seen the Kickstarter page. I've spoken to a few people that they'd sort of heard about this thing going on, but never really seen the actual stuff for it.
Yeah.
And again, like you say, that there's a few retailers are going to have.
Yeah, right now I think it's
supply.
2, so that's 20 copies of the book. I'm really curious to see what happens once the project ends, because I've already had some people contact me and say they can't use Kickstarter because they don't have an Amazon account, and have asked if they can PayPal me. But
Okay.
it's really not set up to work that way, and I've been wondering if I should run maybe 1 week early in October pre-order for people who want to go through PayPal. I mean, before I print the book. But if I do that, if I did that, I would feel as if I'm shortchanging the Kickstarter backers. It feels unfair to them. And and I could charge the retail price, which would be the $14.95 then plus shipping, so it'd be more expensive. But then I'm also taking away from those who backed at the retail level, so I'm really torn on it. And I think what I'll do is just poll everybody when the project ends and see what the backers think of the idea.
Yeah, if 90% of people are okay with it, why not?
Yeah, well, if the 10% who aren't okay with it are the ones who are planning to sell the book later, then I'll probably not do it, because I really don't want to screw anybody over who's supported it so far.
That's fair enough too. And I do like that, the way this works with, if you support the project, you're rewarded. It's really made to order sort of thing. And I know in other interviews you've stated you'll have a few extra books just in case something's damaged or
I'm
give away later or...
Yeah, exactly. I don't want somebody to get their book and it have been damaged in the mail and there be no copies left to replace. So I'll have replacement copies handy, and then once everybody has theirs and nobody needs them, I'll probably use those as gifts or whatever, maybe some prizes later.
Cool. Now, you've also got a website linked into the book, which is www.transformingcollections.com. Now, that's just more of a blog towards the book, isn't it?
I actually decided I'm just going to keep sticking third-party news and links to reviews and just collect information there, because I notice a lot of the big Transformers sites have started either downplaying the third-party stuff or just, the Cybertron site is just basically eliminated it altogether.
Yeah, I had noticed that.
Yeah, they hid the forum, and the only time you ever see any third-party news on their front page anymore is like if TF Source or Robot Kingdom or somebody has an update.
Yeah. I found that interesting, and eventually I think it may be the case that a lot of these sites won't be able to back the third party. More so when it's IP infringement, not so much like Fans Project with their Steel Core and things like that are branching out onto their own fiction. Yeah.
There's some really fuzzy lines out there on the entire thing. Like the iGear Rager is arguably their own design.
Yeah.
It's inspired by Hover, but it's definitely not Hover.
Yeah. Now, so as we said before, we've listed what you're up to with your pledges, which it really is unreal that there's been so much support. How long has the Kickstarter been running?
It was a 30-day project. It started on August 31st, so we're into the 30th day now.
So, that's an amazing amount of support in such a little time.
Yeah, getting the word out there has been the biggest challenge. Yeah.
And things like Twitter and retweeting and stuff like that really, I think, helps. That's how I originally saw it.
Yeah.
I'm sure many others.
A lot of the backers have helped promote it. I've had a couple different websites promote it. It's been useful. I've been a little surprised that, TFW 2005 and a couple of those other sites didn't run it as news. They seem to just not find it interesting, or I don't know what.
Oh yeah, that makes me wonder, especially when a lot of, I looked through the list of backers the other day, and there's a lot of people off TFW that have backed it. So you'd think if they did run that on front page, it would have created a lot more support, but...
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. I suppose it's hindsight, so...
Yeah.
Now, I just want to run through with what the people who have pledged will actually receive. just to
Okay.
give an idea. Now, you're pledge $1 or more and you're a supporter, so it's just hey, I want to donate and
Yeah.
hope this goes well.
Yeah, it's basically hey, I want to give you a tip. I like what you're doing. I like the idea. Here's a buck.
Yeah. And then we've got the $6 or more where you receive a PDF copy of the book.
Yeah, that's the first chance you have to get a real copy of the book, and it is an electronic copy. Once I release the PDF, it's going to be priced at $9.95, so the $6 one's a discount, basically.
So that's pretty good. And let's face it, it's still pretty cheap for here's the thing. We're talking about third-party toys, and people always bring up the cost of
Yeah.
third-party because it is limited run. And people need to realise this book is limited run. It needs to be printed at, a proper book printer, for lack of better words. And $10, for a book is relatively cheap when it's in such small numbers.
Yeah, the project's not really about making money. The project's about getting the book that I want.
Yeah, well, that's right. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
it's just, if they go, $10 is a lot. It's not. It's really cheap.
Yeah,
and
I've had some people ask if I'm going to offer this through Amazon and things like that, and there's just no way that I want to get into that business. And if I did that, I'd have to basically double the cost of the book. So
yeah, and it's from a fan for fans, so like you said, it's not for profit.
It's for fun.
Something fun to do.
Yep.
Your next step up was the $12 pledge, and that was the Electronic Warrior, and a printed copy.
Yeah, that was basically a setup for early adopters. I wanted the first few people who got in there to get some small reward for jumping in and supporting early.
Yeah.
So the $12 and $15 where you first get a book are essentially the same. It's just 15 people got a $3 discount for being in early.
Yeah, fair enough. And the $15 or more, we've got like 116 backers, so it was a really strong option by the look of it.
Yeah, a lot of people just want a book, which is cool.
That's what we're here for. Pledge 25 or more, you got a second book, and there was 67 backers for that.
Yeah. I think total we're up to needing, I'll probably run out 325 books, so I have some extras. The other thing at the $25 is to incentivize people to spend the $10 to get the second book, to use as a gift or anything like that. And plus, the more books I print, the cheaper the unit cost gets. Everybody at $25 and more is also going to get a refrigerator magnet, a postcard, and a button, just as simple little throw-in extra things.
And it's like, that makes me think of when you go and buy a DVD or a Blu-ray, and then it comes with it'll come with this cheap little toy or something for $20 extra, but that's more enticing to people because, I get something extra.
Right.
So, yeah, and I'm sure people will like the postcards and things like that. It will be a fun little add-on.
Yeah.
Now, you went up to $30 for the next one. And what do we got here?
The $30.
The blog.
Yeah, the blog in arms. It's a copy of the book. And then I will also write a review for your site, whoever took that one.
Okay, very cool.
It's a fun little way. People like guest reviews and things like that, so it's a good way for me to help promote them and them to help promote me, and we'll see how it goes. It's fun. I've done a few guest reviews for people before, and it's always fun because it gives me a different audience, and it gives them a totally different thing that they normally wouldn't have.
Yep. Now, we go up to $75, and which is your master supplier.
Yeah, the $75, I had a couple of people before I launched the project suggest that, and I'm amazed at how generous everybody's been, because that one is, you get one copy of the book, so it's basically the same as the $15, but then you're also contributing extra funds for me to go buy some more toys to include in the book.
Yep.
So that's cool. That's some real nice, generous people there. I mean, everybody's been great about supporting the project, but I'm really impressed that so many people took that option. I did it because it was suggested. I wasn't sure if it would work, and, well, I'm glad the suggestion was made.
Very cool. And now, your next sort of options were very limited for advertisement on your website,
Yes.
which were the 100 and the 175.
Yeah, and those also included advertisements in the book. Now, what's cool is the $100 supporter, rather than an ad, asked that I do something cool with his page and just give him a credit on the page.
Okay.
So that was pretty neat.
And the only other pledge you had was that 101, like you said before, was for resellers, online resellers or whatever.
Yeah, and 2 people have taken that, so that's 20 copies of the book that will appear for sale online somewhere. And once the books have shipped and I get clearance from the retail supporters, then I'll definitely post to let everybody know where they can buy the books.
Okay.
So 20 probably won't last all that long.
Yeah. Hopefully not. So the bonuses are that have been released so far. We got a magnet with every $25 or more, a postcard, and the button.
Right, and those are all for the $25 and higher. And then everybody who's getting a book is also at this point getting 3 trading card size stickers.
And they were unlocked with the stretch goals, weren't they?
Yes.
And also unlocked with the stretch goals was more pages, which is very cool. And 4 guest artists. So tell us a little bit about the artists that are contributing to the book.
So we've got Charles Marsh, who's a toy customizer, sculptor, artist. He goes by Monster Forge online. People who followed the OMFG project, I don't know if you've heard of that. It's
no, I haven't.
They're
personally.
little muscle-like monster toys from a company called October Toys, and he designed and sculpted the character Multiskull that appears in there. And he's working on illustrations of the fans project Insecticon designs.
Yep.
So that's going to be pretty cool. And then we've got Jesse Moore from Callgrim.com. He's got his own character, his own toy line, but he's working on something that's going to be pretty surprising. I'm not ready to reveal it yet. But
no, that's fine.
He's got a cool one going.
Surprises are always fun.
Yeah. And then we've got Justin Gammon from WeirdoToys.com. The thing about Justin that most people don't understand is he's a professional graphic artist and illustrator. His piece is going to be awesome. Actually, he's going to be doing... He's going to be doing
there he is.
the iGear. This mold, he's choosing which color he's going to do, so it'll either be the Rager, Shafter, or Black Rager design.
Okay.
But, yeah, I didn't know this until after I'd talked with him for a while online, but one of the projects he does is he handles the design for KMFDM album covers.
Okay.
So and then he just wanted to be a part of the project, so that's totally awesome. And the last artist is Matt Dowdy, who's also working on a little bit of a surprise. He runs a site called OnellDesign.com and creates the Glyos system toys.
Yep.
So that's our
there's a lot of fans. Seems to be a lot of fans for Glyos now.
Yeah, it's grown a lot. I first ran across it January 2009 or so. I met Matt at the New York Toy Fair that year, and I've been out to his place several times since then. He's a really nice, friendly guy. He's always trying to give me his toys, and he's really grown that line just in the last 3.5 years or so. The fan base has gotten much larger than when it started.
I see a lot more of coverage, even over the last 6 to 12 months. There's been almost an explosion of that stuff.
Yeah, it's picked up a lot.
Anyway, that's a tangent. And the next stretch goal, which hasn't been unlocked, was the $6,250, which would have given 3 extra stickers. So, with any luck, someone comes along and
we'll see what happens.
Drops a nice donation. Yeah, we can always hope. But regardless, the support has been fantastic.
Yeah, the support's... actually, I see now that it's gained some more support.
Oh, just while we've been talking.
Yeah. So...
that's brilliant. So, there you go. Always people looking at it. Now, the Kickstarter page gives an estimated delivery of December 2012. How accurate is that?
I think that's pretty good. I've got a rough outline already in place for the book and a lot of the work done. We've got 4 interviews with third-party designers that will be in the book.
That's very cool. And they're designers that directly working on the toys in each of those companies?
Yes, designers who design specific toys that will be shown in the book. I mean, toys that are out there for sale now.
That's awesome to have a inside look at what's actually going on.
Yeah, and I've read 2 of the 4 reviews so far, and they're really nice. It's going to be fun for people. So I'm thinking about late October, I'll turn the book over for editing. I've got a friend who's going to be helping with that. He's also going to handle all the shipping. And once the editing is done, it's only going to take about a week or so because we'll be doing some before then, and it's not a huge book, and it's not a lot of words. It's mostly photos. But then it'll go to print. I figure that'll be early November. I should get it back early December, and it will start shipping around then. So I think we're pretty good.
And the book's about 7.5 inches square?
Yeah, 7.5 inches square.
And 28 pages.
At the moment. We'll see if it gets bigger.
And for people on the metric system, that's just under 20 centimetres, I believe.
I honestly don't know. I should know that.
I think it is. They can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't care. If anyone watches my reviews, I make mistakes all the time. I couldn't care less. I just do it for the fun of it. Now, a little bit off topic from the book, but just on the Transformers itself, what is your favourite toy line throughout the years from Transformers?
It's the originals.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's no choice. The Generations line today, they're better action figures, they're more posable, there's more you can do with them, but there's times when, like, the Reveal the Shield Perceptor, they're kind of annoying to transform.
Yeah.
If you don't get it exactly in place, it is not going to work. But those first Generation 1 designs, I mean, they're classics. They're fun. Yeah, they're kind of blocky and simple at times, but it's the nostalgia.
And for me, I like big, solid robots. For me, I like the Cybertron line.
Okay.
Because I like big, kind of solid, blocky, chunky. Yeah. Like Hercules was, you know. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of G1. I'm a little bit picky with when I buy things. I want it to be either really good condition or new.
Okay.
So that limits me going back and buying a lot of G1 without spending ridiculous amounts of money.
But going with blocky, the Hercules line is really good for that.
Oh, beautiful set of figures, especially if you're into that aesthetic.
Oh, and I am, and I can't wait to see their aerial bots.
The previews that have been coming out have been quite interesting.
Yeah, I wish they'd get some better images for that SR-71 up.
Yeah, definitely. And see the colour scheme and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that they've gone with the sixth member of the team for the chess piece.
I'm assuming that's because IDW added some aerial bots in the comics.
Well, that seems to be the general consensus for it.
Yeah. And it makes sense, using a 6 robot for that shield on the chest.
Yeah.
It's going to be easier than having an extra piece that floats around.
Mm-hmm. And they really, I think it's a great idea from the toy side of things, because if you want it to be just a chest, it's just a chest.
Yeah.
But there's actual playability instead of just having this big chunk, especially with Superior on it. It's a big chest piece, so it's just going to be sitting there on the desk if you can't do anything with it.
Yeah, I don't know if you're getting some delays, but we're having a storm here that seems to be knocking us out at times.
I've only once we've had a little bit, so
good.
That's all right. It's raining a little here too. Now, also, what about your favourite series? And I'm assuming you're going to say G1.
You mean animated series?
Yeah, the actual cartoons.
Oh, yeah. Second season of G1.
Yep.
I mean, the third was fun. The first, they were trying to get their feet at times. I mean, they're all really bad.
Oh, yeah.
There's no argument there.
That makes it fun, though.
Yeah. And I've watched most of the first season of Prime. I don't get the hub, so I don't watch it as it comes out.
I'm in the exact same boat.
Yeah, and I don't bother watching it online, but what I've seen of Prime is really good.
I'm up to the last 2 episodes of the first season.
Yeah, I'm not quite that far yet.
So, but I'm quite enjoying it. For me, Beast Wars is probably one of my favourite series and lines, and that's an age thing too, because when I was quite young, G1 was sort of finishing up, so 25 now.
Yeah, Beast
Wars for me, and there's a lot of collectors in the same boat.
Beast Wars I didn't catch a lot of. Actually, it's funny. My wife was going to graduate school while Beast Wars was on, so she would catch more of those than I would, because I'd be headed out to work and she'd still be getting ready to go to class.
I used to catch them sort of on the tail end of getting home from school, you know. You'd rush home from school and Beast Wars is on, so I've got to fly in the door.
I actually saw more of Beast Machines than I did Beast Wars. Because that was on Saturdays at least. With Prime, like you said before, you enjoy the original G1 figures because of their simplicity, and it wasn't that hard to get from one form to the other. I was playing around with Arms Micron Breakdown, and as good as the figure can be, it's the same thing. Trying to line all those little panels and things up so everything's seamless is difficult, but I can go and pick up my G1 Optimus Prime and in 10 seconds have it all perfect, you know. With your eyes closed behind your back.
Yeah, just about half asleep.
Yep.
And
that's one of the things I like about the Hercules line too, though, is they're not as simple as G1, but they're not insanely complex.
And I think besides maybe Neckbreaker, only because he's a little bit fiddly with lining up the arms and the cab and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
They're fairly easy to assemble. I'm just looking up at him now on my shelf. But yeah, again, they're not super easy. You know, I wouldn't say they're G1 Prime easy, but
not G1.
They're definitely nowhere near as complex as like a movie toy from Revenge of the Fallen.
Oh no.
And that
the
line,
War for Cybertron Optimus.
Oh, it's a great figure, but horrible to transform. And like you said, Perceptor.
Yeah,
terrible.
That's just he looks awesome in robot mode, and he looks good in truck mode if you can ever get him back there. But I just can't. I quit even trying.
Yeah, stays in robot mode for me.
Yep.
And yesterday I actually finally got around to picking up the Fall of Cybertron Prime and Shockwave, and I like how easily these, or especially Prime, he transforms compared to his predecessor. So it's quite a fun little thing, and a lot of people have been complaining about the the size, but I just did a review. It's not up yet, and I compared him to the Classics Hot Rod,
Okay.
and they're almost identical in height, so people need to stop complaining too much about the size.
The size is just cost. I mean, everything's more.
It really is, but
Yeah.
I think they're comparing to, like, the last toy line that was out, or movie toys that might have been a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But lining, I had it next to Thunderwing as well, and besides Thunderwing's wings,
Mm-hmm.
they were virtually the same mass, so I don't think they've cut the size down too much. And of course there is a little bit of cost cutting with the financial situation around at the moment. Now, with third-party companies, because that's what we're talking about, what's your favourite, or what companies are you most fond of, and like why are you really fond of those companies?
I know I'm gonna get some backlash from this, but I actually like the work Impossible Toys does.
Okay.
Not so much, like, I've got their Medic, and that's not a great piece.
Yep.
But more the Quintessons that they did,
Mhm.
the little transforming exosuit Spike, I was playing with that yesterday. That's pretty
I've got to get a hold of those things.
Yeah. And the new Alicon that they put out. All their toys feel older.
Yeah,
The-
Chris Ho, or Evangelist, he
Yeah.
did his review of the Alicon, and it really does give that G1 feel with a little modern twist on it.
Yeah, and I like that they're trying to go with they seem to be big fans of the 86 movie from all the stuff they put out in the third series of the original. And I know that some people get upset about the quality of their work, plastics, things like that, but they're just fun designs.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, though, because they're the only ones that are really taking a stab at that sort of stuff, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the best work out there, but it's fun work.
Yeah. And
after
I
that,
think it... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, after that, the iGear Mini Warriors so far have been fun.
Yeah, I've been seeing you playing with the different ones during our call here.
Yep.
I haven't got those myself, but every time I'll be on one of the online stores, I'm thinking, I've got so much to buy.
Oh, yeah, and there's more coming every day.
Have you seen the prototype images of the Perfect Effect Black Arachnia?
Yes, that looks fantastic.
That thing looks badass.
Yeah, I know people are complaining about the spider legs and the motorcycle design, but I don't care.
Screw them.
It's got like a Giger-ish, techno-organic look to it.
Yeah, no, I love the look of that. I've been on the fence with the Motobots, but and not because I don't know if I like them or not. I definitely like them, but it's just the price point at the moment. I'm sort of like, there's other stuff I want to get out of the way first.
Right.
But I saw this Black Arachnia, and I was talking about it on a podcast I was guest hosting the other day. It just looks so fantastic in both modes. I love how they've got the little mandibles on the abdomen and things like that.
Yeah, looks like a fun design.
Mm.
They actually, Perfect Effect, the few pieces I picked up from them, except for King Bat, which I'm really not a fan of.
No.
But like the Rumble and Frenzy, the Target Master, basically, those are fantastic. The reflector's nice.
I love that little scouting force here.
Yeah.
I've actually pre-ordered the new version of it with the G1 chests and that.
Okay.
What was it called again?
Not the Photron or.
No. It's the Perfect Effect.
Okay, got it.
Tell you what. It's still Force, it's not Scouting Force here. It is Assault Force X.
Okay.
So they've got the more G1 chests and things like that.
But Perfect Effect I like. The TFC, TFC is funny because their target droids, when I first picked those up last year, I wasn't a huge fan. I got the Megatron and Optimus target masters, and they were okay, but I wasn't a huge fan. But the longer I had them around, the more I found myself taking them down and playing with them. So eventually I did grab the Hot Rod and Starscream.
That Hot Rod looks pretty cool, I reckon.
It's nice.
I like the blocky nature of them.
Yeah, and he looks really good in gun mode with the Classics Hot Rod.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll have to source those at some point.
Yeah, I should post pictures. I've shot photos, but I haven't posted them yet.
Yeah, TFC have sort of really picked up the ball and ran with it with their stuff now. And, obviously the success of the Hercules project has really given them a nice wide berth for future projects.
And the Iron Army's actually pretty good.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of things on that. I haven't got them personally, but it's made the Power Core Combiner a lot more fun, I think.
It has. I posted a short review today of Bomb Shock, the Combaticon Hasbro Power Core Combiner with the Iron Army pieces attached. And it really highlights just how thin and frail Bomb Shock looks. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the 5th Iron Army figure since TFC is doing a new center section.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they put up a teaser shot, but that means we'll get our World War II Combaticons as a complete set.
That's really cool, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, actually, I've got them right here. The other thing that does shows, this is the Bomb Shock with the attached Iron Army, and then here's Huffer with the Combaticons attached. There he is. And if you can see, the Iron Army pieces make much larger limbs.
Oh yeah, a lot more mass.
Yeah, if we stand them up back to back. I don't know if that's even showing up.
The top corner.
But
you can definitely, and obviously the articulation too.
Yeah, it's a big difference in height. Oh, and
I saw a photo of the Iron Army sitting next to the Fans Project Bruticus.
Yeah,
like his little brother. But no, I definitely like the look of those.
I prefer
done
the
well
tanks
with their last. Yep.
To the jets. The planes are cool and all. And I like the working rotor.
Do they scramble city?
The legs must be legs and the arms must be arms.
Oh, okay.
That's as far as they go.
So you can swap side to side, but not.
And they come off pretty nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And I know something that bothers a lot of people. Oh, and you got to take the turret off to really do anything. But I know something that bothers a lot of people is the fact that the feet and hands are not part of the robot.
Oh, okay.
They're accessories that you take
parts
off.
Parts forming Nazis out there.
But then, they transform really nicely.
Nice, simple, effective design.
Yeah. And he's supposed to hold his turret as a weapon.
Nice big gun.
Yeah.
No, they're very cool little robots, and as I said, it makes that Power Core concept a lot more fun, especially for our adult collectors.
Yeah, I like the auto transformation gimmick of the Power Core Combiners.
The limbs, yeah.
I just wish it was with an actual robot.
Yeah.
And not, it's either an arm or it's a tank, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
That kind of takes the fun out of it. It's a neat idea. It really is. And I hope Hasbro gets back to that and improves on it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of, I've heard it said a lot, the year of combiners. So with any luck, all the combining robots going on at the moment, we'll give Hasbro a bit of kick in the pants and we might get something out of them.
Well, they did the Combaticons.
Yep, that's good start.
I haven't seen those yet, but I'm watching.
Yeah, I haven't had them in hand yet, but
Yeah,
watched
I've
a lot
just seen
of
the photos.
coverage.
At San Diego Comic-Con, I considered buying the set, but the line was way too long, and the box was just too big to even try and deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have the G2 version on pre-order.
Yep.
So
what do you think of Fans Project as a company now?
For me, some of their designs are just not fun.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I got the Protector armor upgrade for the Classics Rodimus.
Yep.
And I'm really not a fan of that armor. It looks okay in robot mode, but the transformation to vehicle mode is just cumbersome. It's not enjoyable at all.
Yeah. And it's really, I'm the same. I really only have it in its robot mode.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
Because I don't enjoy trying to put it all back together in the trailer at all.
Yeah, and their Insecticons, I love the robot modes. They're just gorgeous.
To tell you the truth, I've never transformed mine.
I finally have. It was a challenge. Backfiery is the worst, and I think part of what was throwing me off with Backfiery was I was expecting a better-looking bug mode than we got.
Okay.
Yeah, his rear end in bug mode, his legs are like spread out, and it's just... I
find he's probably the weakest for me personally, of the team.
Yeah, but I mean, in robot mode, I really do like the way he looks. I like those enough that I did order the TF
Deluxe
Insecticon colorways.
Okay, cool.
And if Fans Project puts out the Diaclone colorway for those, I'll get it. They're
yeah,
great.
definitely.
They're great little robots. I'm just not a fan. And that's the thing with Fans Project. I really respect and like a lot of what they do, but I'm not a fan of the transformations that they design. They seem to be big fans of, we're engineers and we're going to create this overly complex design.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard Steel Core isn't quite the same way.
Steel Core... I'll reach up and grab him.
Oh, I don't have one.
Steel Core is a super fun, simple thing. He just kind of unfolds from vehicle mode to robot mode. There's not a lot that you need to try and do. It just sort of happens. It's not an extreme exercise in engineering, but everything he does is very strong. From the little mini bot chess piece to, just how articulated he is. The only thing he's missing, honestly, is wrist articulation.
Okay. See,
if you unplug...
You're supposed to tell everybody it's horrible, that way the eBay prices drop and I can get one.
I can't help you with that. My review's already out there. I said it's cool. And if you unplug the little canopy on the back, he's got an ab crunch and a waist swivel as well. They've done extremely well with the design. And look, it definitely does take cues from already existing IP, but it's their own character, and I really hope they run with that concept.
Well, the photos for Assaulter that I've seen so far look really good.
Apparently he's really heavy.
He looks big.
I was talking to Peor, and he said it weighs a ton, because it's got a heap of die casts in the legs.
Yeah. So
it's really solid, and apparently there's a third mode that no one's seen, but, well, I think...
fourth mode.
A couple of people have seen the other modes.
Okay.
But on a cell phone at TFCon. But not really.
Okay.
So we'll find out soon enough, I think. It won't be long until that's out. Now, I'll thank you. I've already thanked you before, but you posted up my Steel Core review on your Transforming Collection site, and that just leads me to ask you, what reviews and reviewers do you tend to gravitate towards, whether it be their style or you just like that person, and that's if you watch them at all.
I mostly read reviews. TJ does really nice stuff because I just love his photos. And he actually contacted me and offered to provide some photos for the book.
He's an amazing photographer.
He's great. So I've been talking to him and I've been thinking through some different designs that mixes in his more artistic approach with the large, clean shots that I want. Because one of the things that annoys me about toy books is when I open up the book and they show me this picture of a figure and it's kind of blurry and it's like 2 inches tall in the book.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? I want a good, clear shot of it. So
yeah, definitely. I'm friends with TJ and I talk to him quite a bit, but his work is
it's great.
Is amazing.
Yeah, it's great, and I've been thinking through ways to mix a combination of his artistic work with some straight, just workmanlike, clear, clean shots. And I think I've got a design idea in mind. Once the project closes and I'm working on the outline, I'll post some sample pages as they come together and just try to work with all the backers and supporters and come up with a design that everybody likes.
For sure.
So that'll be cool. Chris Evangelos, I need to learn how to do video editing.
His production value is incredible.
Yeah, he's doing really good work. I saw your Steel Core video, obviously, and I saw your Rage of Hercules video.
Okay.
Which I do not have the Rage add-ons, and it looks like I need the Rage.
You need the Rage add-ons.
Yeah.
And I did say in my review, but for people who haven't watched it, I originally wasn't interested in the forearm extensions, and I thought, maybe I'll get the gun.
Yeah.
And, the extra head and that. But once I got it and put it all together, it was brilliant. It just beefs it out, gives it that real bodybuilder width and size.
I mean, the default looks great without the add-ons. The add-ons really
I was
improve it.
Perfectly happy with it before, but now I can't see myself pulling them off again. But the actual shoulder extensions have got a hinge on them as well, so the arm will actually swing right out now.
Okay.
And even on the neck breaker side, which used to hit a lot when you try and move it around, now you can swing it around 360 all day, and it's so the add-ons have definitely worked. And it's fun to play with the arms. They're like little rocket launchers you can set up for the individual robots, and it's a fun set, and $50 isn't too bad.
No. Did you get any of the Dr. Wu Light add-ons for that?
No, I must acquire one or two of those.
If you do, I would get the black ones. The green ones, I wasn't totally happy with the paint.
Okay.
They're not a really good match.
Yeah. The black suits well, though?
Yeah, the black works well. I mean, it's black. It's hard to screw the
Yeah, well, that's right. Black goes with everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, we've sort of been going a while now, I think.
Oh, I don't even know how
we've
been talking.
Nearly an hour.
Okay.
I had a couple of questions from listeners and things, but I'll just go with one main one. And it's not favoritism for anyone listening, but he's a co-host from my podcast, but he thinks into things well. So it's from Hursticon. He has backed your project too.
Thank you.
Give him a little plug. Anyway, this is his question. Given your background in product development and marketing, what would the steps... what would the steps you'd recommend to a third-party company if they were to set out on developing their own IPs that didn't rely on borrowing from already established trademark properties, such as creating, building the product's narrative or mythos, and what the best medium would be to convey the desired demographic audience?
What would I do if I was going to...
Yeah, what would your suggestion to them be?
I would either go one of two ways. I would either launch a webcomic and update it probably 3 times a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would get a hold of the guy that made that awesome Hercules video.
I was about to say.
And beg him to help me make, like, 10-minute shorts, maybe one a month or something, and supplement that with some fiction or short webcomic or something. But
we call him Harry the Hercules guy because his name's Harry something.
Yeah,
on his YouTube.
well, TFC owes him big because that probably sold a lot more toys.
On Shooting the Shit, my podcast, last episode we spoke about him for about 20 minutes. Just the
2-minute video and you talk about it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, the work he did was amazing, and we were so surprised that those big blocky robots could be so smooth on footage, you know.
Yeah, but can you imagine if TFC contacted him and got him copies of all the aerial bots?
They would have sold millions of the things.
I'm thinking if they do it now with their aerial bots,
mm-hmm.
and they post that video like right before the first couple ship, they'll sell it immediately. As
I said, it's the best advertisement they could have had.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this guy's just done it because he wanted to make a third-party video or a stop-motion video.
Great job. There's so many subtle things going on in it, too.
Yeah. And, you know, good choice of sounds and...
Yeah.
It's just everything is so smooth and... Like, even with Dr. Crank, he throws the boom arm up his shoulder. And the extensions come out.
Yep.
But it's like seamless. It's like it was actually animated, not individual pictures, you know.
Yeah.
And then it charges up and fires. And when Structor transforms, it's one of the most fun scenes in that video, I think. And then he punches into the ground and the ground shatters. And I think it was a really fun...
And I love that he had, like, the boxes behind everything.
Yeah.
He didn't try and create an elaborate
advertisement
scene or anything. It's like a desk and the toys are alive.
Well, funny enough, one of the guys on the podcast is doing a big stop-motion video, and he's looking at programs to do backgrounds, because he doesn't like seeing, you know, a good stop-motion, but then it's ruined because you can see someone's underwear drawer, and, you know. So, but then there was so much cool stuff going on in that video, you didn't really even notice the background.
No, you didn't
until the third or fourth time you watched it.
Right.
If you're me, because I watched it over and over. Yeah. TFC, if you're listening to this, hire that dude for sure. He's unreal.
They could probably pay him in toys and he'd be happy.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Yeah.
As I said, I think he's done it for the fun of it anyway, so...
I wonder if it was for a class project or something.
Yeah, well, it could have been, you know, university, and he's into... Like Chris is into editing and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I saw his Indiegogo movie project was funded today.
Yeah, Balance. Yeah. So that's cool. All luck to him for that. Now, is there anything specifically you want to mention or bring up about the project to the listeners?
I think the only big important one is if you're watching this before the project ends, keep in mind that the book is not going to be easy to get once the project's over. Mm-hmm. And if you're watching this after the Kickstarter project is closed, I'm sorry, but the book is not easy to find now that the project's over.
If you're lucky, you might be able to get one online from there's about 20.
Yeah, right now it looks like there'll be 20 online. That's, of course, assuming that the people getting them plan to sell them and they're not just gifts or something to save for eBay in the future or trade with. Mm-hmm. I don't know what. No, I've been really impressed with the response and how much support there's been, and I think there'll definitely be some sort of sequel once this book's out and everybody has it.
And I think we'll finish up about there. It's a good hour. It was pretty solid. We might chat a little bit afterwards, but we'll continue on. And just to go over your websites again. It's www.battlegrip.com and www.transformingcollections.com. And your Twitter is Philip J. Reed.
Yes.
And it's 1L.
1L. I know people think that's weird.
Yeah.
And it would be wrong of me not to mention the Steve Jackson Games website, because somebody out there might
Definitely.
like games, and that is sjgames.com.
And it's a cool website. I've had a look at that. Plenty of products.
We keep pretty busy.
Yeah, so thanks a lot for allowing me the time. I know you're a pretty busy guy with the games and then trying to organise this book and your own life, obviously. And, you know, it's been good to give another perspective again on what's actually happening with this project.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure people will listen to you over and over and over.
And after the book's out and everybody has a copy, and we should do this again so we can flip through it
for sure.
to people.
Yeah, definitely like to do a follow-up, you know, maybe early in the year once or let's say after it's shipped out and everyone's had a chance to look at it.
Yeah.
And we've seen a bit of response. We'll have another talk about it.
All right.
And we might even be able to get you on the podcast sometime, and you can ramble on with us on there.
Oh, I'm not going to ramble.
Oh, yeah. There's a reason it's called Shooting the Shit. It tends to end up around 3 hours most of the time.
Wow.
The last one was 2, so that wasn't too bad. But anyway, thanks, Phil. Really easy to talk to, really easy to contact for anyone that does want to speak to you, hit you up on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you'll answer when you can. You're pretty quick most of the time. So,
I try to.
Again, Philip J. Reed on Twitter is probably the easiest way to contact Phil.
Definitely.
And you want to ask him about the book, jump on there and throw a question out. And again, at the time of this recording, it's probably got about 19 hours left. Yep. So 18 hours to go. Hopefully I can get this up in the next hour or two and you maybe get a couple of backers out of it.
Well, thank you.
Either way, it gives some coverage for the book and some coverage for you and any future plans that you may have for other projects that people will have their eyes open anyway.
Yeah, I've got a couple ideas. One of the things I've found really fascinating about this Kickstarter project is the last time I looked, over 90 of the backers, this was the first Kickstarter project they ever participated in.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is the first thing I've ever done.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool to get that many people.
And the thing is, for other people with Kickstarter projects, that's another 90 people that possibly may look at their projects as well. So
yeah, be very careful. Kickstarter can be dangerous. There's a lot of cool stuff on there that you're going to want.
Yeah, and do your research.
Yeah.
Yeah. Know what you're planning on spending your money on, and maybe not leave too much in the bank.
Well, haven't had any problems with financial issues. It's just there's so many cool projects that I want to support.
Yeah.
And I can't support them all. I want to.
It's a bit like buying these toys. I want them all, but I can't afford them. The Kickstarter thing's really cool. I love the fact that if the project doesn't meet a goal, no one loses any money.
Right.
But if it does, brilliant, and it goes ahead and with your project itself, it's gone crazy.
The Indiegogo site is similar to Kickstarter, but the big difference is if it doesn't meet its goal, people still have spent the money.
Yeah, that's not real cool.
And I was asked why I used Kickstarter and not Indiegogo, and it's specifically because I didn't want to find myself in a position where the project didn't get funded, and here I had money from like 20 people and had to find a way to make 20 copies of a book.
Yeah.
So that's why I used Kickstarter instead of Indiegogo.
And I assume the your pledge amount will be charged when the
Yes.
thing is funded.
When it hits that 0 mark on time is when they start processing charges. And what I've heard, I haven't run into this. Usually mine just process immediately, but if they run into any problems, they'll keep trying it like once a day for 3 or 4 days or something. Just
Okay.
if there's a bank issue or something like that.
Yeah. So just keep an eye on your accounts and you'll know when it comes out. And the other thing...
You'll get an email, too, when it happens.
Yeah. The other thing for international supporters is to make sure that if you're getting a book, you've added on that $5 for the shipping.
Yeah. Which doesn't totally cover the shipping, but...
Oh, no. It's for me, I'm in Australia, and
yes.
I'm getting 4 books. So I think well and truly you're looking after us on that one.
Yeah, we ship to Australia from the office quite a bit, and it's one of the most expensive places in the world to ship to.
Mm.
But it's also
Funny
pretty
enough,
reliable, too.
Yeah, I got a package sent from the eastern side of the States, and it took 6 weeks to get here, because it had to go through a international sorting facility and all that.
Oh, okay.
And then I got one sent from Texas, and it was here for 5 days.
Wow.
Because they've got an international sorting facility locally.
Oh. Well,
so it goes straight there and sent.
These are mailing out of Texas, so maybe we'll get...
So I think you'll be pretty good with the postage
for
international stuff.
And the PDF will go out to everybody before the books actually mail. I'll send those. I'm thinking what I'll do is send the PDF out to everybody about a week before I want to send it to print. That way, if somebody sees, like, hey, you got a typo here, or something stupid happens, we can fix the PDF before the book prints. That way,
that's definitely a good idea. And you'll get straight away have feedback. So as you said, if there is an error, it can be fixed before it goes to print. And it's not there forever. So yes, the book is Transforming Collections, and this is Philip Reed, and he's a very cool dude. As I said before, definitely follow him. See, I can't talk half the time.
You're
follow
not
him
awake
on
yet.
Twitter.
It's morning there.
It's 10 a.m. on a Sunday here, so I've got plenty of work to do today. So yeah, definitely follow him on Twitter. Check out the websites. Favorite the battlegrip.com. Plenty of cool stuff going on there all the time. So again, thanks, Phil. We'll do a follow-up for everyone. I'll try and get this out as soon as possible.
Well, thank you.
Not a problem at all. All right, guys, thanks. This is Chris, again from Kal-El Reviews and Shooting the Shit. I will post this up individually and as part of the podcast, I think. But we'll see. All right, Phil.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Alrighty. I've got that recording, so I'll just edit out this sort of rambling.
Okay. If you edit out all the rambling, you won't have anything left.
Well, none of the fun stuff, anyway.